When it came to Phase 1 of the MCU, it was very clear who the most important characters were. You of course had Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Phase 2 would go on to add a couple of new faces, and 3 would continue the trend. But of course, Avengers Endgame saw the wrap-up of most of these characters and storylines, while Phase 4 is setting up the future. Now, one of Marvel Studios' own producers talks about the importance of Phase 4 and the two most important characters going forward. So this comes at us directly from Marvel Studios producer Richie Palmer, who was talking about the future of the MCU and as it relates to all the events that happen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And he specifically said that the same way that Iron Man was the anchor and sort of the central piece of Phase 1 going into Phase 2 and Phase 3, and then you had Captain America, Thor, and eventually other characters join. For Phase 4 and beyond, the two most important characters are Doctor Strange, and first and foremost, it's him because of everything he's involved with. The multiverse concept, the amount of power, how long he's been around, and what they're going to be doing in the future with him. Which then involves the second most important character, which happens to be Wanda. And he says that it's the story of those two, everything that happened, and not just in the main universe as it relates to both of them, but the multiverse as well. Because as we saw in other multiverses, those characters are far different when it comes to power levels, how they were handled, and if they lived or died and what they were involved with. And they're not done with those stories or these characters just yet. So quite obviously, Doctor Strange 3 is going to be a big, important film. Dealing with incursions, dealing with Clea, dealing with so many things. There's going to be ramifications and things that are directly addressed by everybody around. But then, you of course have the insanity of the multiverse. And how is everything going to be affected by Loki and Kang? And who knows what else coming down the road that we don't even know. It's all got to circle back around to make the future possible, eventually get us to more Avengers films, team-ups, and eventually Secret Wars. And you really got to think of how far they've come and just how little of Doctor Strange and Wanda we've seen in terms of what exactly they have to offer to the bigger story going forward. Because Doctor Strange is gone. You know, he's gone out of this universe, wherever he's gone with Clea. So he can't clearly show up and help out other events. Wanda is Wanda. Depending on if you're going to talk about the multiverse one that died, quote unquote, and various things, and who knows how they get back to all those elements. Certainly, them teasing that they're the most important characters that kind of hold Phase 4 together and will carry things into Phase 5 does make sense. Yes, you have others like Captain America, who's very important. But again, he's a street-level character. We're talking about multiversal characters that are so powerful, they're almost unstoppable, as we've seen. And I assume they're going to add more important characters in other films. Obviously, the Marvels, they're all going to be important, but that's, of course, dealing with the cosmic side of things. But when it comes to the big factor, the incursions and what's happening, I mean, Doctor Strange, definitely the most important.